Alright, so I'm doing today's video standing on my feet because this is a very important video for me, and not just for me but for all the viewers, for all the gents out there who will get an opportunity to watch this video. It's very important because it speaks towards the mental health of men. You know, men are suffering mental health wise, and in this video I don't really want to be all soft and talk about why men should express themselves, because I truly believe that's all just caca, like it's bullshit. Okay, I'm not a qualified psychologist or therapist or psychological, whatever medical term you can think of that has to do with assisting people that have mental health issues. But what I'm going to speak about or upon is people who have got mental health issues, same as I have had in the past. And these are mental issues that people carry on to their lives, and it gets to a point where they can't even handle the pressures of life and they end up committing suicide. You know, it's not a topic that I really want to discuss that much, but it's a topic that should be discussed because it is a prevalent problem for us men. And it doesn't choose your socio-economical level. You know, you could be the poorest or you could be the richest man. You will still suffer from mental health issues, and you will still see a high rate of suicide amongst all kinds of men, all races of men. So this is not for black men, this is not for white men, this is not for Asian men, this is not for Indian men, this is just generally for men, because the statistics globally show that men are taking themselves out at a very high rate, and in many cases violently so. It's not just suicide, this is more of them murdering themselves. What I really want to talk about in this video is the fact that if you are suffering in life and you are suffering because of things that are out of your control, this may be a marriage that went wrong, this can be a relationship that went wrong, this may be your inability to find a job at the moment, this also may be because you don't think that you have a purpose in life or you have not found your purpose in life. There could be many reasons for different kinds of people. I remember for myself, it was the fact that it felt as if I was working hard for a long time. This was probably 6 years into me hustling. It felt as if everything was just going downhill. You know, it felt as if I was putting in as much work as I possibly could, but nothing was coming. I was getting no ROI, and with me not getting any return on investment from the work that I was putting in, it almost felt as if I was failing in life. And yeah, that's pretty much what I felt like. I felt like I'm a failure in life. And with the feeling of you feeling as if you are a failure, my man, it's very hard to get out of that mind process and that kind of thinking. And I was stuck in it for a long time, to a point that, excuse the SMS, oh, message, I'm old, I said SMS, text. But I almost lost my train of thought. But at that moment, I felt as if I was a failure and there wouldn't be anything better in my life. And I was a failure because, not just because of myself, but because the world doesn't like me, or the world owes me something, and that I should be getting help from family, or why am I not born into a well-off family? Things could be easier for me in life. And I was blaming many things and many people but myself at that moment. And I say I was not blaming myself at that moment because what I should have recognized or what should have realized is that it requires me to be patient and consistent on my hustle, no matter how hard things get. And of course they will get very hard. And I don't know where I got the expectation that things could be easy in life, because nothing in life is easy. So with regards to mental health and speaking to gents, I need you guys to understand that no one out there is coming to save you, or no one out there is coming to change your life situation for you. In fact, many gents might relate to this, where you had a girlfriend that you loved and you thought you could provide as much as you possibly could financially for her, and she would still leave you when maybe she was not satisfied, or maybe you are incapable of doing it. And when she walks away or walks out of your life, you feel as if she owes you. You know, that's a sunk cost fallacy. You feel as if you've invested so much into her that she should be grateful for that, even in future, not at the moment in which you are investing in her. you will blame her and not yourself. You know, if you are investing your time into friends that you think that it should come back to you and it doesn't come back in a way that you want it to come back, or in a time period that you want it to come back to you, whatever you may have done for your friends, you will blame your failures that I was helping them when I was helping them. I didn't care that I have my own problems, and now I've got my problems and I want their help. They're not there for me. You need to get yourself out of that mentality and realize that nobody is coming to save you. No one owes you anything. The world owes you nothing. In fact, as a man, you have to find your purpose. You have to become a man. You know, you're not born one. You have to become a man. You have to become strong. You have to do the things that you need to do in order for you to achieve whatever the fuck it is that you want to achieve. You know, I am also trying to be as calm as I possibly can in this video, and while discussing this topic, because it's a sensitive one. But you have to recognize that to a certain extent, as a man, you are alone in this life until you've reached a certain point in your life. And even when you've reached that certain point in your life, there's things that you have not dealt with in your past that might still be affecting you. And with those things still affecting you, it's incumbent upon you, upon yourself, that you work on those problems, that you fix whatever those problems are. Because I don't even know how to actually put the words together right now, but it is just a matter of you recognizing that no one is coming to save you. You must be a man. You must fucking man up. And I know in today's narrative, media-wise, you'll hear people saying that men have been told to man up for too long, and that has been bad for their mental health. But if we look back into history, in comparison to now, the highest male suicide rate is right now, in a time where men are supposed to be expressive, men are supposed to talk and open up and express themselves with either other men or their significant others. Only now we are seeing such a rampant problem of mental health issues with men. Yes, I think the older generation might have had mental health issues themselves as well, and what I do believe is that they had to find a way to deal with it, and they did exactly that. Yes, they will go through midlife crisis as well, but they still were able to man up, and they still were able to command the self-respect and respect from others and from their own families, because they dealt with the problems the right way. Of course, there are outliers who would be in crime, who would obviously do drugs, whatever drug they took back in the day. I don't know what drugs they took back in the day, man. Well, what did they take? Dinosaurs. I don't know what dinosaurs smoked, man. But there obviously must have been something that some people would take. But those were not the majority. The majority of men, no matter how difficult things were, like here in South Africa, the previous generations before ours, they were in apartheid. I'm now specifically talking about black people. They were in apartheid. So they were under a system that was keeping black people below the poverty line, that was oppressing black people, and quite literally men were being emasculated in many ways, where they would not be able to have proper jobs, and they would be taken away from their homes, that their homes are raised by single mothers who are, well, not really single mothers, but mothers on their own, who themselves also needed to bring in some sort of income, because the income that the men were making might have not been enough, so they had to go raise other people's children, like this being the wealthy people's children. Mostly white, of course, we know this. But the man still had a way of dealing with problems. Say it was healthy, say it was unhealthy, say whatever you want, but the truth is the suicide rate was much lower. The truth is, although we may not have studies that show the mental health issues that people had in that time, what we do know is that the suicide rate was not as high as it is right now. In a time of technology, in a time where things are much easier, where starting a business is literally you creating a product or buying a product and rebranding it and putting a phone on a ring light, just like myself, and talking to that phone and saying whatever you need to say about the brand that you are trying to sell and getting customers. things are much easier for us right now. But with things being so much easier, how come then men are more depressed than ever? Yes, things are getting better slowly because there's a subset of people that are talking about such things, and they are teaching other men how to be men. And these things are helping. They'll help me myself, and hopefully I can help other men. But what men really need to understand is that yes, you are on your fucking own, number one. Number two, there is nobody coming to save you. You have to deal with your problems. And that's all I have to say in this video. I want to keep it as short as possible. Like and subscribe, more videos are coming through.